as an opposition party. It took over the state government at a time when the economy of Penang was actually in doldrum. Unemployment was over 16%, right? The economy was really in very bad shape. In fact, that was the reason why at that time the people of Penang voted the opposition, as Gerakan, into government. All right. Now, subsequently, soon after he took over, the former Chief Minister, Dr. Lim Chong Yu, embarked on the industrialization process that changed the whole economic landscape of Penang and indeed Malaysia. Right? That moved Malaysia from being an economy that was dependent on commodities. That means rubber and tin at that time, accounting for 80% of the export in 1970. By 1990, manufacturing accounted for more than 60%, and by year 2000, 80%. So it was a complete structural change of the economy of Malaysia that was driven by Penang, okay, and in Penang. But that process, of course, has its ups and downs, which I'll show you finally, all right, in terms of the investments that come in, there were ups and downs, okay? But what we are facing today, or what we have been facing actually since the 90s, was increasing competition in the global market. Because when Penang started industrialization, we were lucky. Besides the foresight of Dr. Lim and his forthright action, we were also fortunate. We have good fortune. Because at that time, China, Russia, India were all closed economies, economy close to the world. Russia behind what is known as the Iron Curtain, the Iron Curtain, 铁幕, Iron Curtain. China behind Bamboo Curtain, right, closed. And India behind Sari Curtain, right? I can't find another curtain. Anyway, it was all closed, right? And their market was not open to the world. Neither was their workforce. But by 1990, China started to open up. Russia opened up, okay? And later on, India opened up. So, you see, Malaysia, well, at first, we are chasing after the little dragons, Korea, Taiwan, Singapore, Hong Kong. We were the crouching tigers trying to move forward. But we were being chased behind by other tigers, little tigers, Thailand, Vietnam. Then, in the meantime, emerged instead of hidden dragon, is an emerging dragon, big dragon of China. Yeah? And then the Bengal tiger of India. I used to put the big elephant, because elephant actually stands for India. Then people say, no, that's not fair, because elephant doesn't move very fast, okay? But India is moving very fast now, So in a way, threatening even the little dragons, okay? And our challenge is, are we going to be the flying tiger, or are we going to be crouching tigers, okay? And are we going to be overtaken and even eaten up by other tigers coming from behind? All right? So that has always been a concern of Malaysia, and in fact, indeed of Penang. And Penang being a very small state in terms of our population, only 1.5, now 1.6 million people. And if we were to compete with China with 1.3 billion, you can quickly calculate how many times bigger is China to Penang. Almost 1,000 times, actually 900 over times. All right. So obviously, we have to find our own strength and niche areas. So what is happening now? Maybe is when I prepared these slides, it was before the announcement yesterday. But it was the challenges of up and up and up. Everything going up. All right. Now, oil price or fuel prices going up that push the logistic prices up, right? Logistic, transportation, and so on. And then the booming economy of the actually is economies with the E, not economics, economy of Brazil, Russia, India, and China, the BRIC economy, as they call it. Okay, the four big nations with over 200 million people. And their booming economies actually also have been driving prices up. Okay, especially preparation for Olympics, for example, has driven up the price of steel and construction materials. Okay, so material cost has also gone up, which means production cost has gone up. Then the ringgit going up versus the US dollars also has driven up export cost. Okay, so we are facing rising cost, and yet we are facing a very flat world. I call it a flatter world, not in terms of flattering world, all right? But a world that's becoming flatter and flatter. Friedman's book, I don't know whether some of you are aware, Friedman's book on the world is flat, okay, the title is World is Flat, has a whole chapter on Penang, under Dell, right? Talking about how the Dell supply chain is so global, and yet Penang was able to leverage on that. And this was actually, I would consider as one of our great achievements, where in 1993, we managed to convince Dell to come to Penang instead of going to Singapore. They were looking at Singapore, they were looking at other places, but we convinced them to come to Penang. And they have been here for 15 years since then. And we're able to support Dell because our supply chain was good, our logistics was good, all right? And because of our supporting services, people like Penta Master, CB Chua is here, that supply the automation system, for Dell worldwide. So 2 years ago when I accompanied the PM to go to Austin, Texas for the World Congress of IT, we took the opportunity to visit Dell headquarters and their production line. And then, we were very pleased to see that the production line, the automation process was made in Malaysia. Then I told the PM, actually it should have been said made in Penang. All right? So it shows how good some of our SMEs, small medium enterprises, can get to be. All right, it's global. Our standard is actually global. It's a world standard. All right. Now, however, this kind of flatter world always presents tremendous competition. Okay, so the competition will be going up and up, and there's no stop in competition. And we remember always this a proverb that our teachers in high school always taught to us, and say that in study, it's like rowing against the current. If you stop, you will go back. Right, you must keep on rowing and rowing, keep on forging forward. All right. So how do we tackle change and challenges and also competition in the future? I was thinking over it the last week or so, and I came up with what I call the 4-3-2-1 strategy. For lack of a better way to summarize it,